President Cyril Ramaphosa has arrived in Geneva in Switzerland to co-chair the Global Commission on the Future of Work, a body of the International Labour Organization. He's expected to hold bilateral talks with the ILO Director-General Reyder before meeting with his co-chair, Swedish Prime Minister Stefen Lofven. The Commission will focus on the world's response to the fourth industrial revolution amid concerns of job losses.
We're going to be dealing with how the world of work is changing, how it is evolving, and how working people around the world can get ready for the fourth industrial revolution, and the way in which technology is changing the world and how it's transforming everything that happens in the world of work.
Well, for more on this, we cross to our reporter Aldrin Sampear. He's live from Geneva in Switzerland, where the President will assume the co-chair position of ILO Global Commission. Aldrin, thanks very much for joining us. It looks a lot nicer there than when I was there in January one year. Just take us through what the President's role will entail, and doesn't the President frankly have enough on his plate here at home?
Well, certainly, I must say that it's shining this afternoon, but early in the morning it was raining, so that's probably the weather that you experienced during the time that you were here back in January. But certainly the President has taken on a big task, and speaking to the ambassador yesterday, the permanent representative of South Africa here in the United Nations here in Geneva, she was saying that this is indeed a big task for the President, but he comes on with a whole host of skills, because this is not only somebody who has been a unionist, but this is someone who's also played the role of an employer, being a businessman, a former businessman, and now being the head of state, now forming part of government. So he brings on board this capabilities and abilities, as well as experience that he has had on all three bases. And a big question, I guess, that the Commission is facing is a question around the existence of tripartitism, where you have government being involved, what we call NEDLAC back in South Africa, government being involved in the discussions on the discussion table, as well as the employers being represented and the unions, because this is taking place during a time where you find that most people who are employed really don't find it necessary to be part of unions. So what does this mean for the future of labor federations as well as unions? And on the other hand, is there truly a need for labor unions? What happens to informal sectors? These informal sectors, of course, they are not represented by unions, but who represents the voice of those people in these informal sectors when it comes to platforms such as NEDLAC? And this is a discussion that is taking place here in Geneva on how governments can respond to this. But of course, the other thing is the pressure around job security, and this has, of course, been a huge issue, of course, with the various technological advances, as well as artificial intelligence taking precedence right now, where you find in factories the employers, the companies would rather go for artificial intelligence, because that comes at a much lesser cost to running the business than employing people. Of course, you know that when it comes to employing someone, there are a lot of added costs that comes with that.
Indeed. Now, Aldrin, the work that this commission is doing or seeking to do aligns very closely with the South African government's efforts to create jobs, ensure sustainability in the job market, particularly for the young, and so on. But what are some of the challenges that this group or commission will face? Okay. Unfortunately, he couldn't hear my second question. That was Aldrin Sampear. He's reporting from Geneva.